Moscow is burning tonight. A massive explosion has ripped through one of Russia's most important government towers, a building Putin once claimed was untouchable. Ukraine's long-range strike has reached deeper into Russia than ever before, shattering the illusion of a protected capital and sending shockwaves across Europe. Flames, collapsing steel, panicked crowds. This wasn't just an attack, it was a direct message aimed at the heart of Russian power. And with US intelligence tracking every second in real time, the world now enters a dangerous new chapter. The war has crossed a line, and the consequences are just beginning. Tonight's strike didn't just destroy a building, it destroyed Russia's sense of invincibility. Moscow's skyline is choking in smoke, Europe is on edge, and global powers are scrambling to understand what comes next. This is not just another incident, this is the moment the conflict changes direction forever. Tonight, Moscow witnessed an event that many Russians believed was impossible for years. The Kremlin insisted the capital was shielded behind layers of advanced air defense systems, claiming the city was safer than any place in the world. But as darkness settled across Moscow, a thunderous explosion broke the illusion in a single violent moment. A Ukrainian long-range drone, traveling hundreds of miles undetected, pierced the capital's impenetrable air shield and slammed directly into one of Russia's most symbolic government towers, a building known for housing critical administrative operations. The blast ripped through the structure with unbelievable force. Entire floors erupted in flames, sending burning debris spiraling into the night sky. Fire consumed the building from inside, turning windows into molten frames and steel beams into twisted wreckage. Street cameras captured the shockwave tearing across nearby blocks, shattering windows, flipping signs, and knocking pedestrians to the ground. Within seconds, Moscow was thrown into chaos. Eyewitness videos flooded the internet, people running, alarms blaring, thick smoke rising, cars screeching to a halt. Emergency services arrived quickly, but the damage was overwhelming. Flames engulfed multiple floors. The building's core structural supports weakened rapidly, causing a partial collapse. Inside the Kremlin, panic erupted. Districts were locked down, government officials evacuated. Sirens screamed across central Moscow, something most residents had never heard. For a brief moment, even communication networks flickered. The symbolism of this attack was undeniable. Ukraine didn't just strike a structure, it struck the psychological center of Russia for the first time in decades. Moscow felt vulnerable. What makes this attack extraordinary is not just the destruction. It has the precision and stealth behind it. Ukraine didn't fire blindly. This was a carefully orchestrated mission, executed with advanced engineering. The operation began deep inside Ukrainian territory. Engineers modified a long-range drone with GPS spoofing, terrain-following capability, and radar-evading features. It flew extremely low, hugging the earth to avoid detection. Electronic warfare units deployed signal disruptors that blinded Russian early warning systems. For brief moments, just long enough for the drone to slip through, entering Russian airspace in silent mode. The drone maneuvered through forests and industrial corridors, staying beneath radar horizons. As it neared Moscow, it ascended sharply, positioning itself to strike the tower's weak point between two load-bearing columns. Russia's air defense system scrambled, but detected the threat too late. The drone dove with high speed, carrying a small but extremely concentrated explosive payload designed for structural collapse, rather than mass casualties. Experts say detailed architectural knowledge of the building guided the strike, data almost certainly provided through Western intelligence. The operation shattered Russia's assumptions about its air defense superiority and demonstrated Ukraine's emerging long-range capability. This was not just a hit, it was a message, a warning, and perhaps a preview of Ukraine's new strategy. The world is now asking, how much did the US and NATO contribute? Officially, they deny involvement, but unofficial signals tell a different story. US infrared satellites were active hours before the strike, tracking radar rotations, troop movements, and heat signatures around Moscow. Such real-time intelligence is crucial for planning deep strikes. The UK likely assisted with communication intercepts, identifying which Russian systems were active or offline. Poland's early warning radars may have provided border crossing confirmation. Germany and France, though cautious, have satellite systems capable of mapping structural vulnerabilities. Europe reacted instantly. Germany expressed alarm. France demanded a security review. Poland celebrated openly, and the UK called the strike a turning point. NATO held an emergency meeting. Europe fears escalation. Russia will see the West behind this, whether true or not, raising risks of cyber attacks. missile escalation, or unconventional retaliation. This was more than a Ukrainian victory. It was a geopolitical earthquake. Ukraine proved capability, the West proved silent support. Europe proved fear, and Russia proved vulnerability. Inside the Kremlin, panic turned into fury. Putin convened an emergency meeting at midnight. Officials describe it as tense and chaotic. Military commanders were grilled with harsh questions. How did a drone enter Moscow? Why did radar fail? Who leaked building data? No clear answers came. Finger-pointing erupted within the military, exposing internal weakness. Russia deployed armored vehicles, sealed streets, activated air defense units, and restricted communication. But the public saw everything. Millions witnessed the flames. Panic spread through the city. If Moscow isn't safe, what city is? If one strike got through, will more follow? Russians felt fear their government can't control. Retaliation is expected, missile strikes, cyber attacks, drone operations, but analysts warned Russia's advanced weapon stocks are running low. The biggest damage tonight wasn't physical, but psychological. Russia's myth of invincibility collapsed along with the tower. Tonight's attack changes everything. Not just for Ukraine or Russia, but for the world. Ukraine proved it can strike deep, boosting morale and strengthening international support. Russia is forced to redirect resources back home, weakening its frontline power. Europe is shaken, borders tense, militaries alert. Leaders alarmed, the U.S. sees strategic opportunity, proving Ukraine's capabilities and reinforcing the value of intelligence collaboration globally. The balance shifts, escalation risks rise, alliances tighten, and uncertainty grows. Long-range warfare becomes the new normal. Capitals are no longer safe. Intelligence warfare overtakes traditional tactics. One strike can shift global strategy. Tonight will be studied for decades as the moment the war fundamentally changed direction. Tonight, Moscow has felt the war it tried to keep far away, and the shockwaves are only beginning. A tower reduced to ruins, a capital thrown into fear, and a world suddenly on high alert. Ukraine has proven reach, precision, and resilience that Russia never expected. The U.S. is watching. Europe is nervous, and Putin faces the one enemy he cannot control: uncertainty. This wasn't an ending. This was the beginning of a new chapter, a more dangerous, unpredictable chapter, and the next 72 hours could redefine the future of this entire conflict. ****